Hello folks, this is Julien from Adrenaline Combatives and Urban Combatives Manchester. So I just wanted to speak about a few things. When I'm looking at certain posts on the social media, which I'm trying my best not to spend too much time on because it's definitely not a good thing, okay? It takes a lot of our time and energy that we could spend on doing something more constructive, okay? It's all about being constructive, creative, and productive, okay? Anytime you do something or you say something, always ask yourself, is it positive? Is it creative? Is it constructive? And is it productive? You know, if you always ask yourself this question, you can never go wrong. So I'm looking within the area of self-protection, combatives, violence prevention, and martial arts, all that area, and you look, there are different instructors with different level of skills, with different experience, with different personality, different experiences, different everything, okay? And there are some really, really good people out there. There's some really, really knowledgeable people out there. For one, I'm always very selective who I learn from, okay? I've always been learning from people that really know their shit, yeah? And there are quite a few people like that. Not too many, but there are quite a few. And when you look at the way that people communicate, the way that instructors communicate with the rest of the world, when they present their curriculum, their content, what they actually provide the masses, the people with. You got people that are always very productive, very creative, very positive and constructive. People that are always putting content out there. They're always putting more and more content out there. And that's, my kind of instructor. I've learned a lot of stuff from them because they are a source of knowledge, It keeps coming, keeps dripping. It's like when you're around them, you're just going to learn. You're just going to learn and learn and learn and learn. And, the education never stops with them. And I love to be around people like that. And the way that they put their thing forward in general is they just do their thing. They just do their thing. They just film themselves doing the explanation. They just do their thing out there and they just post it and people look at it and learn a ton of things on their video, which is great, okay? And in no instance you see them or hear them being negative about anything, okay? They're too busy being positive to be negative. They're too busy training, improving their craft, becoming better, or picking up some books, and learn about violence, learn about situational awareness, learn about environmental awareness, learn about criminology, learn about behavioral study, learn about psychology, learn about criminology, the criminal motivation, criminal archetypes, learn about all that stuff, which is great, okay? Because self-protection is not only about fighting, okay? Learn about de-escalation, learn about conflict management and resolution, learn about observational skills, learn about personal awareness, learn about yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like Bruce Lee used to say, every knowledge ultimately means self-knowledge. Every time you learn something, you get to know yourself better. And that's really all it boils down to. So when you see that type of instructor just putting their videos out there, just doing their thing, and they're very, very productive and very creative, and that's great. That's absolutely awesome. And then you got another type of instructor, which might have some really, really good content, some absolutely amazing content that I love, yeah, and that I learn a lot from them, but in their approach, in the way that they present and in the way that they advertise themselves, they always put other people down and what other people do down. Now, what is the point? I don't really understand that sort of attitude, that sort of behavior. Why would you need to put other people down in order to promote your stuff? What's the point? Is there not a bit of insecurity out there? I mean, I don't know, I might be wrong, but You know, I'm looking, and there are a few people like that I know that I have a lot of respect for. But, I see them dissing what other people do. And sometimes when I read their post, I'm like, wait a second. That guy is, is supposed to be, somebody I respect, somebody I agree with. Yet he's, posting a post talking about people that do certain things a certain way, trash talking them. And I realize, oh shit, I'm training like that. I'm doing like that. I'm thinking like that. So perhaps he's also talking about me. They are also talking about me. So I'm like, what the heck there? Do you know what I mean? Why do you need to diss what other people do in order to promote your stuff? Especially if your stuff is that great already, there's no point. You don't need to diss what other people do. There's no point for you to do that. It's like, it's so much better to spend your time doing your thing, Every time you spend some time trash talking people, you're using time, precious time that you could use to go and train. Go to box, go to grapple, go to read books, go to do that. Put more knowledge in that head. Get more intelligent. Yeah? So that you can share that knowledge with the people and help other people. That's what we do in the self-protection industry. Yeah? We're helping people. We're saving lives. Now, everyone have their truth. And listen to what I'm saying when I say their truth might not be the truth for everyone. Okay? Because your truth is in alignment with your experiences, what you have experienced in your life, your traumas, and how you have dealt with your traumas and not, or you know what I mean? Your opinion is formed based on your experiences. And that forms your truth. But your truth might not be everyone's truth. So when you make a post by saying, oh, my truth is the truth and everybody else's is shit, well, I don't think it's the right attitude to have. I'm not losing any respect for people. If I respect them, I always respect them. I respect them for other reasons, and these reasons are still there. But we have to learn to just focus on what we do and not focus on what other people do. Because when we focus on what other people do, we're wasting our time. And we're making, by trash talking people, we start making enemies. Because you might not realize, but you're there putting your post and you're, basically insulting people, saying that these people are fucking stupid. They don't know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. Like, there are some people out there that are really, really good. People that have inspired me all my life. Some people that I have trained with. Some people that I've never met, but that I've watched and listened for years and years, and they've really inspired me. But yet, they feel the need to be negative about what everybody else does. And that's the type of mentality that I don't understand, I think that I'm too busy being positive to be negative. I have no time for negativity. Seriously, I just have no time and energy for negativity, and I will not give in to it. Do you know what I mean? But I thought I would do that post because I think it's very important as an instructor to know how to convey the message and how to pass on your knowledge to the best of your ability, to adapt to your students' preferred learning style, and just get to them as efficiently and as quickly as possible. Accelerated learning, neural-based learning, get the information in there in your student as fast as you can, so that they got something real, so that when they go home with something real. You gave them something actually real to protect themselves. And that as far as I'm concerned, as a self-protection instructor, this is my goal. This is why I do things, to help people, to save lives. Okay? Not everyone will agree on what other people do. Okay? I think that violence is ugly regardless, and when you are a victim of violence, you are not thinking about the law, you are not thinking about anything else than your life and saving yourself. And if your family is with you, you're not thinking about anything else than protecting your family and make sure that they stay alive. Make sure that you stay alive so that you can keep your family alive. And, being able to do what it takes, even if it means taking a life, if it means biting somebody's face off and spitting it right back in his face, If that's what you have to do, then you have to be prepared on the psychological, mental, emotional, and physical level to do it. And for that, you have to visualize. You have to use mental imagery, visualization. You have to become as dangerous as you can. You have to cultivate this inner dragon, this inner antisocial animal killer instinct. We all have it. We all have it. For example, every mother has that instinct. Very simple. Try and fuck with any mother's children and see what's going to happen to you. See the level of aggression that mother is going to be ready to access in order to save her babies. She'll grab a kitchen knife, she'll stab you to fuck. Doesn't mean that she's a bad person, doesn't mean that she trains the wrong way. It means that she's got that instinct in her, she's got that maternal protective instinct in her, and she will use it. Well, it's quite simple. If you train for the worst case scenario, and that's what you need. And when people say, the statistics says that it's very unlikely that you're going to face the worst case scenario, to be honest with you, when it comes to my safety, I'm not going to trust what anyone says, or anything that I read, or any government agency, or any police. Where is the police when you're getting stabbed? They might be driving to you, they might get ready to get to you, but where are they when you're actually getting stabbed? They're not there. You're all alone. So your safety is your responsibility, nobody else's. Don't make the mistake to put your safety into the hands of somebody else. That very often doesn't give a shit about you. So, and the statistics, the statistics are real to a certain extent. They are real. They come from a real source. I do believe that. I'm not denying that. But statistics, first of all, it's not statistic of the whole world. It's just statistic of those that came forward with the information. Do you know what I mean? So in that sense, it's not completely accurate anyway. And it's not the same statistic for everyone. Depends where you live. Depends what sort of person you are. Depends what work you do. Do you work night? Do you work day? If you work at night and you're around outside at night, then you might have more risk to get attacked than if you are working during the day, for example. Do you know what I mean? So, different people, different mentality, the statistics. I will not place my trust in statistics. I'm not going to not train for the worst case scenario because the statistics are telling me that the chances are that I'm never going to face the worst case scenario, And it doesn't mean that we train to go all out like in urban combatives. A lot of people have that idea about urban combatives, that it's for crazy people, that we're violent people, we like violence, and, we surely like to hit things hard, pads, but, I don't like hurting people. I think hurting people is stupid. Do you know what I mean? I'm a good person. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I can fight, don't get me wrong, but, I'd rather make love. Do you know what I mean? So It's important, okay? It's important to prepare yourself for the worst case scenario. You probably will never have to face the worst case scenario, but you need to harness these skills anyway, because it's better to be a warrior in the garden than being a gardener on the battlefield. Yeah? Because if you're a gardener on the battlefield, then you're fucked. If you're a warrior in the garden, you can always learn how to grow stuff. Yeah? So the way that we train and the approach, it's quite simple. Okay, there are statistics, and I go and research statistics because I use them when I teach my knife course. I use statistics because they are important to a certain extent to give people an idea of what's happening. But I know what my life has been like. I know how many altercations I've had, and it depends what work you do as well. I work the doors. I see violence pretty much every day when I work the doors. So I'm much more likely to face a violent situation than most people. Police officers are much more likely to face a violent situation. Military soldiers are much more likely to face a violent situation than the average person. And yes, that is a reality. But it doesn't mean that a real person might not be very, very unlucky one day and find himself or herself in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I think it's always better to prepare for the worst case scenario and then train yourself to lower your level of force, lower your response if need be, so that you can have some sort of force to threat parallel. Yeah, as in, you see, we use the violence volume dial, which is basically the force to threat parallel, so that your response is always in proportion to the threat, so that you stay within the realm of what is considered legal and reasonable and necessary. That's what you want. So all this is self-protection is not only learning how to fight. Self-protection, there's a lot more to this. There is all the psychological aspect to it. There is all the criminology aspect to it. The learning, predatory behavior, learning predatory movement, learning predatory hierarchy, for example. It's all part of psychology. It's all part of behavioral study. It's all part of, the study of violence. So it's all important. You can't just focus on one thing and just dish the other one. You need to know it all. You need to know it all if you want to be a knowledgeable person, if you want your knowledge to be complete. It's like if you want to be a good fighter, it's quite simple. You need to have a good standing striking base. You need to be able to punch, kick, knee, elbow, headbutt. You need to learn to be able to do all that. And then you need to have a really good grappling base. You need to be able to throw. You need to be able to not to be thrown. You need to be able to grapple on the floor. You need to be able to get out of submission and, get in a position of dominance, get back on your feet. And then you need to learn how to sprinkle all the dirty shit on the top of it. Then you need to learn how to use weapons and all that stuff. A lot of people said to me, why do you train guns? Why do you train with guns? Because we're in the UK and guns are illegal. Well, yeah, for sure. Guns are illegal in the UK. It's not to say that I'm never going to move to a country where guns are not illegal. And at that point, I'm going to start training then? No, I'm going to train now. I'm going to harvest that skill set right now that I can. Doesn't mean that I want to use it or that I want to use it or that I advise people to use it. But it's better to have that skill set not needing it than not having it when you need it. Because the truth is, forget all the statistics, forget all that shit. You never know what tomorrow will bring. So you need to be ready. It's quite simple. The world is not rainbow and sunshine like Stallone says. Do you know what I mean? It can be a really beautiful place if you know where to look. If you look in the core of everything, the universe is an absolutely beautiful place. But it's also a mad place, especially this planet. It's pretty fucked up, So you need to be ready. You need to be ready for this. Mentally, emotionally, physically. Gather the knowledge. Work on yourself. Build your stamina. Build your fitness. And train. Go and box. Go and grapple. Go and do some MMA. Go and have a few fights on the ring as well to see what it's like, okay? Don't just think, I'm training for the street, this is sport. I'm telling you what, most of the people that teach self-defense would get a second asshole teared by most MMA guys or Thai boxers or boxers. Because these guys are day in, day out training against a resistant partner. Yeah, non-compliancy from day one. If you lower your guard, you get punched in the face, you get your nose broken, your jaw broken, you get knocked out. Do you know what I mean? So it's very important. You want to get good at fighting? Go and box. Go and do some Thai boxing. Go and do some BJJ. Go and do some Sambo. Go and do some judo. And then get the knowledge. Then sprinkle the dirty shit on the top of it. Then learn how to bite, how to gouge, how to scratch, how to tear, small joint manipulation, ballistic manipulation, use of the environment. Then learn how to use weapons. Every single weapon. Learn how to use knives, swords, stick, guns, shotguns, revolvers, rifles. There's no limit. Stars are the limit. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're training to become the most dangerous person on the planet, even though you're the nicest person on the planet. I believe I'm one of the nicest person on the planet. I love people. I don't like hurting people. But I will still spend my time gathering that type of skill set and that type of knowledge. Very, very important. All right. Anyway, I thought I was gonna, touch on that. I will do more and more videos as the time goes, because yeah, I'm gonna put that stuff out there for you people. All right, guys. Love you all. Take care.